Hey everyone, can you hear me and see me? Okay, are we good?
Yep.
You guys can show your
Yep,
faces
we're good.
if you want to, because it helps. So I'm not talking to the computer. Okay, we are going to go over a lot of information. Um, First off, Mindy, did you want to start with brief history, mission, all that stuff?
Yes, I'd be happy to. We're glad you guys are here. It's good to see some faces and some new faces, maybe some returning. In any case, we're just glad you're here to learn more about COPA. So my name's Mindy Robbins, and I'm one of the owners and the artistic director of the Music Dance Theater program. I don't live in the St. George area. I actually live up north. I wish I did, especially in December and January and February, where you guys have vitamin D and sunshine galore and blue skies. But I have spent a lot of time down there. Tuacahn is like a second home to me, and we're super grateful for the partnership that we have with them in this amazing space. So that has been a real blessing. Okay, so COPA started like 16 years ago in my basement. And I can't believe where it's grown and what we're doing and involved in, and just super grateful to be a part. So I'll read to you if I can get it up. I think I maybe accidentally closed it. So give me, oh, there it is. Okay. The mission and the philosophy of kind of what our goal is. So the mission of COPA is to develop talents, confidence, and performance skills while experiencing purposeful performances in a spirit of camaraderie. The performing arts is a complex and exciting field of study. Within this field of study, there can be occasion for comparison, jealousy, and insecurities to flourish. At Utah COPA, we prefer to focus on the positive outcomes that involvement in this field can develop, including confidence, dependability, punctuality, responsibility, respect for self and others, a strong work ethic, perspective, lifelong friendships, and teamwork. We encourage you to approach your training in this manner. For the Music Dance Theater program, we offer a wide variety of training in different areas of musical theater, including music, dance, and theater. Students train in various dance forms, vocal and acting techniques, preparing for success in the industry. COPA students regularly play leads for school, community, regional theaters, including Tuacahn, and several students have recently and in the past received collegiate scholarships for the performing arts. So that's kind of the overall arching, what's the right one? Oh, well, either one, goal for COPA. Just to kind of introduce you to who is who in regard to directors, we are lucky to have Brittany Terry at the helm of our Tuacahn program. She moved to Tuacahn, I mean, to that area. Brittany, has it been like 8 years, 9 years?
Only about 6.
Oh gosh. Okay, so 6 years ago. And she used to run her own studio where she lived before. And when she found out about COPA and we chatted, we thought it would just be such a great blend to have her be a part of this COPA experience and kind of organizing things. I don't know if we have Mimi here. Do we have Mimi here?
She's coming. She said her internet was down, so
There she
hopefully.
I
Oh,
just said her name and she's here.
popped on.
So Mimi has been a director. So Brittany is the academy director, but she also directs companies. And then Mimi, there she is sitting outside on her beautiful porch. Mimi also directs some of our companies and has been involved as an OG from the beginning, like Brittany, in this program. And we're super lucky to have them. We have a lot of other incredible faculty members that we just love. It's a super strong team. So just glad to have them. Okay, Brittany, do you want to take it back?
Yep, I can do that. Okay, the first thing we're going to go over is the just overall information. You can either find this on the website, or I'm going to try to share my screen so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm not the best at this Zoom thing, so we're going to try it out right now. Okay, can you see that? Yes? Oh, good. Okay. So as you can see, we have 4 different companies this year that we're trying to run. We've had Prodigy, Moxie, and Principal in the past, and we're adding a new pre-company for 1st to 3rd graders. And so auditions will be held for those soon, which we'll talk about in a second, but auditions are for those 1st to 3rd graders as well, all the way up through 12th graders. So the audition date is May 14th. If you look at this, it tells you kind of what each company has. Each company has vocal tech and acting, company rehearsal, which is an hour of vocal rehearsal and then an hour of choreography. And then they have their dance day. If you scroll down and see their dance day, and they're all placed in levels based on kind of what we see at their audition and those who've been taking before, kind of what we've seen in class. So you can see the pricing over here. Their tuition is for Prodigies $199, Moxie $199, Principal $199, and then Debut, our pre-company, is $125. For Debut, we're not requiring them to take the extra dance day. That's just going to be an optional. If they want to add in that extra day, they'll be in that MDT dance level A. And then their tuition will be the same as Prodigy, that $199, or they can add on individual classes if they just want to do jazz. It'll just be $25 extra, or just ballet.
Hey, Brittany, can I add something just
Yeah.
for new parents that might be kind of confusing? If you're looking at Prodigy right now and you see vocal tech acting A and B, they don't take both of those. So they'll be scheduled based on their own schedule and how the cookie crumbles in one or the other. Does that make sense? So just wanted to make sure that you knew it wasn't from 4 to 8 p.m. It's either 4 to 7 p.m. or 5 to 8 p.m. depending on which works best for you guys. Okay. Just
And
wanted.
also with that, we have actually adjusted the schedule. Usually we've started at 4:30 on Tuesdays, but we've moved it to 5. We've had a lot of Vista students who have like after school things till about 4:30 or 5. This will help them have a little bit more time to get to class so they're not late every week. So that 5 to 8 window is probably for those Vista kids. And then if you go to a different school, that 4 o'clock to 7 would probably be the best option. So just as you're looking at that. If you scroll down, you can see we have add-on classes. The add-on classes for Debut, like I said, are the ones that the other kids are already required to take. So if they're in Principal, Moxie, or Prodigy, they're already required to take those classes. It's just optional for that new pre-company. But we also have acro and ballet point class on Friday for those kids if they want to get some extra dance in on Fridays. Okay, the fees are also, you get, going back to tuition. If you look at the top where it says contract July 2023 through June 2024, that needs to be updated. But contract starts in July and goes through June. So tuition is divided over a 12-month period so that you're getting charged the same amount every month. That way it's not in December where you have like maybe 2 weeks of classes and then 1 month where you have 5 weeks of classes and you're like, what am I going to get charged this month? It's just taken over that whole period and just divided by 12. So it's even, so you know exactly what's coming out every single month. And that's the same with fees. Fees is kind of divided that same way too. And fees include like the summer camps and some like the costume fees, the rentals, all those kinds of extra things that musical theater requires. And you can see those right there where it says 38 a month for Debut, 70 for Prodigy, 75 for Moxie, and 79 for Principal.
And Brittany, if it's okay, I just want to add,
Yep.
it was years ago that we asked parents what they preferred because we used to charge like a recital or concert fee in like, November prior to the December or the January concert. But with Christmas and then the costume fee and the concert fee adding up together, it made that month really heavy. And so parents voted on if they preferred to have them kind of as throughout the year as they came, or if they would prefer a set payment. And it was a large majority that just said, let's spread it over 12 months to divide it, and we'll spread the fees out so that every month you know exactly what you're budgeting. One thing that's really different about COPA from, I don't know every studio by any means, but I know that we are a little different in this way where we give all of those fees. A lot of times with studios, they don't even tell you what the fees are in advance. This way, you're knowing exactly what the cost will be from the very beginning of the contract to the end. And it includes everything. Like there won't be any surprise. Hey, by the way, we're going to be in this parade and there's now a $25 fee for your kid to participate. It's all just embedded so you know exactly what you're signing up for before you sign a contract.
And Mindy, that also includes the website, like that fee includes that, correct?
You mean
The
Oh, the app website,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yes.
just
it's
costume
everything.
that you're paying for, that's the app price too.
Yes, so like music videos, costume fees, concert fees, app fees, all of those things are embedded in that once a month payment. And honestly, like we've debated, because summer camps are included, and you'll see that if your student is cast in a company, they participate in 2 weeks of summer camps. And the camps range in price, but usually they're around $200 each. Well, that's $400 of your fees. And if you divide that, that's $33 of the fees each month. So rather than paying it through the summertime, you're paying for those 2 weeks that you receive the tuition all the way through the year. We just felt like it was better than having like heavier months in the summertime with your tuition payment spread out as well, to just put those summer camps in for the year. So anyway, it's all included there. It's really hard to compare like apples to apples with other tuition and fees because, like I said, it's not always disclosed in other studios and you don't always know what you're signing up for, and you're not realizing that, oh, this includes all the summer camps and everything, but it's the full enchilada. It's everything that you will pay unless your child is touring, and we'll get to that because there's separate tour payments from tuition and fees. So, okay, sorry, Brittany, go ahead.
No, you're good. Pitch in whenever. Okay, going to the important dates, as you can see right there, for the company kids, they are required to take at least one of the MDT dance camps. You can see right there, the dates are June 3rd through the 7th and July 8th through the 12th. They don't have to attend both, they just pick one or the other. And then they're all required to attend the MDT company camp. At the camp, we start working on our music video. In years past, we've done the filming on the Saturday after the camp. The camp usually goes Monday through Friday, and then we film on Saturday. But because of our audio guy who is doing the recording for our audio for the music video, he is going to be on a trip in Alaska. So we have had to change that a little bit. So our filming day is also on there. That's going to be August 24th, which is also a Saturday. And I haven't planned that yet. So most likely we've done it in the morning in years past. So most likely it'll probably be in those morning hours, just because a lot of times we do outside and it gets hot. So we try to do it as early as possible. So mark that. We start classes on the 19th. Every year we do 2 solo showcases, which are a chance that they get to do solo performance. So the first half of the year they work on legit songs, which is their classical voice. And then the second half of the year they work on monologues, which is like a speech, an acting speech. And then they learn a belt song and they perform those individually so that they're getting that individual training. And then twice a year we have our concerts, which are in January and May. And we do a whole medley. We take musicals and just the more popular songs of the musicals or just the storyline of the musical, put them together in a medley and they perform that.
Brittany, can I add here too?
Yep.
That those of you that are new to COPA, it is something that's kind of different. If you don't mind scrolling back up on your screen for a second, those vocal tech and acting classes, they're kind of a different opportunity that's offered through COPA. So that is where they prepare those solos or the monologues that they perform individually. And it's like a private voice lesson in a group setting. So they're getting to stand up and be coached individually on that solo that they're choosing, and then they get to see them perform it. And that's different than their vocal rehearsal hour, which is where they're putting the medleys that Brittany's talking about together. So that's what the difference is between vocal tech and company rehearsal has vocal rehearsal and choreography. Take it back, Britt.
And just throwing this out too, something that I love personally about COPA is that their focus is on training. They're their focus isn't necessarily on performing, it's on getting the training so that they can make the performing, so they can get the leads, so they can have opportunities in the community and elsewhere. Like I don't know, it's awesome to me because for me, like, I don't feel so crazy because there's not so many things happening in performances, because I feel like it gets a little overwhelming. But then my kids, because I have my kids in it, it's focus on that training of having an individual solo or an individual monologue that they can work on personally, and then they work on that group setting of working together as a team and learning a medley together, and then having that opportunity to perform together. So I just love that COPA focuses so much on training and helping these kids get that so that they can use it in life. So just throwing that out there.
Also, to add to that, we've had a lot of kids who've complained in the past that they don't want to have to do the dance classes. And like, I don't want to do the dance classes, but it's been really interesting. The ones that complain are really the ones that end up being so grateful a year later. Takes about a year, and they start auditioning for things, and they're like, Mimi, oh my gosh, I did a double turn and no one else could, or I kicked to my face at auditions and it really made me stand out, or I was able to do a time step when they said, who knows how to do a time step. So it's really, really helped our kids to get into the community theater shows, because they've done the work. They've done the work. And so that training is it's really awesome. That's it.
Yes, we love training. Okay, let's see. Where was I at? So the theme for this year for our medleys.
So, sorry, Brittany, I interrupted you at you were going through the dates, through the fall solo showcase and then the concerts.
Okay.
So I think you got through all that just last week of classes and company auditions for 2025.
Yeah, I need to update.
And then tours, I think tours are where you can pick up.
Okay. So, tours. Mimi's gonna tell us a little bit about tours. Go for it.
Okay, so I love the tours. I get to go on tour with your children for Moxie and for Principal. I tell people who don't know anything about COPA, I say it's worth it just to go on tour. Said it's worth every penny. I love you too. Can you go out? Go out. Mom's in a meeting. Okay, big hug. And I love you. Sorry, it's my 3-year-old. Okay, go on. I'm back. I shut myself in a room trying to not have him come out here, but okay. So anyway, the tours are so valuable. I tell people COPA tours are just different in the sense that something that Mindy and Katie and Susie have all really focused on. They're the owners and help run COPA, but they are very focused on, yes, letting the kids have fun. And yes, they have a lot of fun, but it's worth every penny because your kids are learning. They are learning from professionals who are currently working on Broadway or professionally in all different states. So I'll explain MTCA. So that's Moxie's tour. That's actually a competition tour. And the greatest part about it, MTCA stands for Musical Theater Competition of America. So all of these people from all over the country, even all over the world, are coming in to compete. And the kids, I mean, it's like, I don't know how many. Mindy, do you know how many? I swear there's like thousands of kids there.
I don't know the total amount. It's unquestionably a lot of studios. And there were people, I think, from Guam last year. Like, yeah.
Yes.
But from all over the world for sure.
It's just so amazing just for them to meet the kids. But ultimately what happens is I like the setup for MTCA because yes, it's a competition, but ultimately it's set up in a learning setting. So what we do is we go and compete our piece. So our kids will compete both their medley or their piece that we've set up throughout the first part of the year, and then they get to compete individually. That's part of the tour costs. And what happens is it's basically like your own free, it's not free, your own lesson with a professional. And it's for the medleys, there's typically 3 to 4 people in there. We perform, and then we have 10 minutes to workshop. So they get to just hear all of these things that we've probably been teaching them all year, and things that they've never heard before. It helps me as a teacher to learn, to grow, to do things differently. And then with their individual piece, they each have, I believe, 10 minutes. And so however long their audition, not their competition piece is. So my daughter's was like 3 minutes and 50 seconds last time. The rest of the time was all workshopped with the 2 judges. And there's always 2 judges in each individual workshop. But they have on the outside, they have like their resumes and their bios, and you're just like astonished. Like 2 years ago, I believe one of the main people that was going to come and judge, he got Beetlejuice on Broadway and was like, see ya, I gotta go. Like I can't be at MTCA. Like that's how much they are currently working in a professional setting. Anyway, it's wonderful. Then at the same time, they workshop all day. So it's like 2 days. They get to workshop with like Nikki Snelson is one of the favorites. She does, she's the original, oh my gosh, you guys help me out. The original, oh, what is it called?
Legally
Mindy?
Blonde. I know.
Legally Blonde.
Legally Blonde. She was the friend in Legally Blonde. I can't remember.
She does like the jump roping piece. Oh my goodness. And she teaches a whole class on that, but they have a lot of workshops that the kids really love and really learn a lot, and they leave MTCA feeling invigorated and excited. And then we get to go to Knott's Berry Farm and Disneyland, and then they're excited again. So
and I will say, Mimi may not tell you this, and honestly, we do not prioritize like winning or trophies. Like I don't really buy into that world, but I will say that Tuacahn has taken first place 3 years in a row. And we bring our other locations there, American Fork and Draper, and TCA kills it. And they're not just killing it against our other locations who also place and do really well. They're nationally winning, like internationally winning. And so it's a really strong group.
Yeah, it is so much fun. The kids feed off it and love it. And the kids that have already been to MTCA get the kids who have not been super excited. And so it's an amazing experience. They also get the ability to audition the first day. They do an open call, which is so beneficial, where they have to do a dance audition and a singing audition. And at the end of MTCA, they do a big show. Last year they had 2 people from the original Broadway show of 6 come and perform, and they get to come and like work with these people and perform with them on stage. And if they make it, there's always 2 out of each group. Sometimes they cast 3 out of a group, 2 from each group that gets to that will be cast. And so we all are represented, and it's so fun and so exciting. MTCA really does a good job at making it exciting. So that tour is just wonderful, and I learned so much just as a teacher. And as a mother, I'm like, gosh, what do I do? Do I have my kids stay 1 more year in Moxie for MTCA, or do we have her move to New York tour? Because they're both just amazing. So New York tour, we've done 2 different things. But all of them are working with these amazing Broadway people. Last year we got to do, oh Oh my gosh, you guys, this is embarrassing. I'm really sick right now, so my brain is not functioning. I have like this really big cold. What show did they do?
Children of Eden.
Children of Eden.
Eden.
Children of Eden. Thank you, Mindy. And they got to perform at the Lincoln Center and rehearse with them, with all these professionals, and they have to work before they go on tour. We have practices, a lot of Saturday practices, not a lot, but anyway, to help make sure they know their stuff before they get there, and then they get to work with these professionals. Stephen Sondheim, who wrote the musical, was
Stephen Schwartz.
Oh my gosh, sorry.
Stephen's
Stephen
really
Schwartz.
sick.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sick. Can you hear it in my nose? I'm like, I'm dying. I think I'm actually fevering. It's fine. I'm gonna be fine. So Stephen Schwartz, I sat behind him and I have like pictures of him. He just is sitting there, and then he'll get up and talk to the kids or talk to the professionals about things to do. And so they got to do that, including going and seeing Broadway shows that are included in the tour costs. And if they want to go see extra shows, that's not included, but they get to see two. I think we've seen two both times, right, Mindy?
Yes.
Two. Yeah. Two Broadway musicals both times. And really there's usually 4 options, because some kids have already seen certain shows, so that we just split up as directors and let them go see the shows. And anyway, the year before that, we went and worked at a place called Open Jar. And this is where a lot of our Broadway shows in New York are rehearsed for. In fact, we got there 3 days after Josh Groban had been rehearsing for Sweeney Todd, and they had just left 3 days earlier. And we were doing our dance workshop, and in the same room that he was workshopping. And on top of it, Lin-Manuel Miranda's was just right next door rehearsing, literally in the next room, rehearsing for their Broadway show, as well as Susan Stroman. She's won, correct me if I'm wrong, Mindy, but she's one of the most Tony Awards out of any director. Is that correct, Mindy?
I don't know if that fact is correct, but it sounds right. She's an amazing Tony Award-winning director.
Yes, and she just walked in to our workshop to talk to the person we were workshopping with, because she had just seen him in his show that's on Broadway. She's like, just wanted to say hi, and like, oh my gosh, you were so good in your show. And they just sat there talking. And then she left, and Minnie was like, that's Susan Stroman.
Yeah, and of course our kids did not know, but afterwards they so appreciate those opportunities to rub shoulders with those incredible people. Maybe you can interrupt for just 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
We have updated tour pricing that isn't on the sheet yet, but will be shortly. So the MTCA tour is $2,300 and the principal tour is $2,950. And they're broken into multiple tour payments throughout the year. And we offer fundraiser opportunities. And once your kid is cast, which happens pretty quickly after auditions, summertime is a great time for them to mow lawns, babysit, sell homemade cookie dough, and do some of these fundraisers. We've had kids cover their entire cost of tour with fundraisers. So anyway, just wanted to kind of give that pricing.
Yeah.
So the dates are too, like if you see the...
Oh, I can tell you the dates you said.
I think those are correct, right? February 6th through the 11th is...
That's correct.
And then February 13th through the 17th for New York.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. And my child literally earned her entire tour fee for MTCA by selling frozen cookie dough, because I couldn't pay for her tour. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And it worked. You'd be shocked how many people will just give your child money. Now, I did not go up to the door with my child because my child is much cuter than me. So I sent her, she had her speech prepared, she was bubbly, and she hated every minute of it. But by golly, she earned all of that money herself. And it was really, really a valuable experience. So it is possible for sure.
That's awesome, Mimi. Thanks for the tour update.
Mm-hmm.
I love tours too. Hey, Brittany, go ahead.
Okay, moving on. guess I don't need to share this anymore. As you can see, the dress code right there, it's all on there too. Just make sure they're in dance clothes for dance classes. No jeans, no street shoes. Black leotard, pink tights for ballet, hair and bun. Boys, white top, black bottoms, black ballet shoes. It's so important to be dressed for class just because it makes such a difference for them in class. I know when I'm in dance clothes, I feel more like a dancer and I work harder. And I feel it's the same with them. When they come prepared in their proper attire, they work harder. And also it's helpful for the teacher to make corrections because they can easily see the corrections if they're wearing the correct clothing. Okay, auditions are coming up, like I said earlier, on Tuesday. I don't need to share this anymore. On Tuesday, May 14th. Just telling you those times. For 1st to 6th graders, check-in is from 4 to 4:30, and then they'll do a dance audition from 4:30 to 5:30. They don't need to prepare anything for that. Just come in dance clothes. They'll be taught a dance combination there and do it there. And then after that, from 5:30 to 7, they will come in individually and do their songs, which they need to prepare 30 to 45 seconds of a musical theater song that doesn't have any voices on it. So an instrumental track. And we'll just bring them in one at a time and audition them that way. For the 7th to 12th graders, they check in from 6 to 6:30. Their dance audition is 6:30 to 7:30. And then their vocal auditions will be from 7:30 to 9. And it'll same thing. They don't need to prepare anything for dancing, just come prepared to dance. And then they'll sing their individual songs. Casting is usually done that week. We try to get it done as fast as we can. When you get a casting email, it'll have a bunch of information. Make sure you read through the entire information because it has things like studio director, which you'll have to sign up for your account, for your monthly payments. And then also has scholarship information for if you need to apply for a scholarship, it has that link that you can fill out that form. And it has just a bunch of other information. Make sure you read it. It also will have an acceptance link, which you'll need to click on and accept if you're going to accept or decline. Whether you're going to accept or decline though, you'll need to click on that and just let us know either way. So we're not waiting. Because sometimes we'll have more students and if your child doesn't accept, then we can go to the next one.
And I just want to say, Brittany, sorry, I'm sorry if this is redundant, but if you're on the fence, have them audition anyway. The audition is not a commitment.
Yeah.
So it's only until you accept the contract or don't. And so have them come for the workshop experience, see how the cookie crumbles, have your kids look at the fundraising opportunities or apply for scholarships. I don't think we've chatted about that yet. Maybe we will. But we do offer some financial aid scholarships if needed. And so if you're on the fence, come and see after if it fits for your family.
Also going to the tours, Prodigy does not tour, and then obviously the pre-company will not either. So it's just Moxie and Principal. Just something to think about. Yes. Are we generally cast by grades? So it's usually like 1st to 3rd would be debut, the pre-company, 4th to 6th is Prodigy, 7th to 9th is Moxie, 10th to 12th is Principal. Sometimes that crosses over based on scores at the audition. So some of those lower higher grades can be moved based on just like their scores at their audition and where they fit best and where they're going to grow the most and have the best experience. We don't want to.
Can I add to that too?
Yeah.
You're exactly right. And there's a question on the chat right now, so you're answering it really well. I was just going to say that sometimes we take into consideration like boys, for example. So if there's one boy in one of the younger companies and there's one boy in the company above it, we might bump the younger boy up so that we have 2 boys together in a company. So it isn't like a fixed 100% grade breakdown. It really does depend on, in fact, in one of our locations one year, we had one entire company of 100% 6th graders. So that pushed our younger kids to younger companies. And so it just really depends every year who comes to audition and then how those things are factored I just wanted to add that because I think the question's applicable for everybody. So you guys keep the questions coming on the chat. Mimi and I are trying our best to answer them, and we'll have a Q&A afterwards as well, but feel free to just keep chatting on the chat as well. Sorry, keep going, Britt.
Okay, let's see. I'm just trying to read through my notes and see what else. Oh, acceptance. We would love to have them accept by May 29th. Auditions, I said, are May 14th. So that gives you kind of like a week or so to really think about it and then accept or decline. And then once you accept, a contract will be sent to you, and then you'll just need to fill out that contract. Once your contract is filled out and sent in, that's when we will register your children for their classes. So you won't need to get on and register for your classes. We go on and do that and put them in the correct classes, and then on your studio director account, which you will see in your casting email how to do that. It will show up on your studio director account what classes they're in, what time those are at, and all that. So contracts we would love to have by May 31st, just because our first MDT dance camp is June 3rd. So we'd love to have everyone registered before then, so it's not chaotic and crazy. So if you could make that commitment by May 31st and have those all in, it makes my job easier. So get those contracts signed. Let's see. I think, is that everything?
We have Alta. Do you want me to chat about Alta really quickly?
Yes, do that.
So those of you who have older children, if they're in 7th or 8th grade, just an FYI, if this is interesting to you, Utah State, you can fill out a homeschool exemption form and have your kids do part-time at school, and then you can basically supplement with Utah COPA classes for fine art or elective classes. So if you have a kid that's really heavily involved in stuff, or maybe a kid who struggles with some anxiety and could use a little bit less time, you can use that option. You would just go to the school and fill out an exemption form. And then there's nothing, because of Utah and homeschool laws, there's nothing actually that you need to do to report on that. It's basically you saying that you feel like you're supplementing fine art credit or PE or elective credit at home or through COPA. By 9th grade, the state requires those classes to graduate, and we have a partnership with an independent online, fully nationally accredited school called Alta Independent. And these credits transfer anywhere to any high school in the nation, but any high school in Utah. And so what I've done personally for my daughter, she's graduating as a senior this year, and she's done some of our, every year she's done our MDT companies. And we've decided with her to do Alta credit, which they honor COPA classes as legitimate high school credit. So she chose to do like more difficult core classes at school. So she enrolled in like honors history and English, and then AP language arts and AP calculus. And then we had her do what are called release periods. And so she didn't have a first period every day, and she didn't have a last period, so that she could come home and do homework and then go to COPA. And so she's been 50 to 60% in school, and then she received the other credits through COPA. It's something, I mean, she also did some online classes through Alta. So what that looks like, we don't make money on the partnership. We don't take a cut of it. You would just register through Alta as a COPA student. And then like Brittany or Mimi would literally give your child a grade, which if they're coming is an A, and they write a 2-page paper at the end of the year on what they learned in that musical theater company, or what they learned in their ballet class, or what they learned. And these classes can be substituted for, I think Utah requires 1.5 credits of PE, and COPA can be substituted for one of the 1.5 credits. It can be substituted for all fine art credit, and it can be substituted for all elective credit. So you can do 1 or 2 credits, and that can be great, or you can do no credits, or you can do like up to 11 credits, which is what we did, kind of the max. And it's, don't quote me on this, they give COPA students a discount. It's something like $200 per 1 credit per year that you pay to Alta. And so your kids can fundraise for that, or you can use our fundraisers that we provide to help cover that cost if that's beneficial to your family. Or there are some kids, like I've had nieces and nephews in the program, that really thrive being at school all day and then going to COPA and doing soccer, and that's just their jam. My kids aren't that way, and they've really appreciated the extra time at home. So that's just something, if you're interested in, we'll go into more detail in the post-parent meetings, and you're welcome to email me, or Katie Higby has done it for her children as well, and we're happy to kind of walk you through what that looks like, but it's just kind of a cool opportunity. Okay, Brittany.
Mindy, Mimi had a question in the chat that we weren't quite sure of the answer.
Oh.
Will you address it?
Yeah, which one?
It's the one about, I just didn't want to say something wrong. Is the deposit or payment due at the signing of the contract? And I know it's not due at the signing, but what month does it come out, June or July?
Yeah, so there's no deposit. The first payment is July. So the contract goes July through June of the following year. And it would be for your tuition and your fees. And then tour payments, when your contract comes, you'll receive a full tour payment breakdown. And it's like, depending on the tour, there might be 4 tour payments or 3 tour payments, and then it'll be a certain amount. And it'll be a higher amount usually at the first few payments, because we're having to buy plane tickets or buses, like big, heavy expenses, or we're paying the deposits for all of the students to have their spots. And so anyway, you'll get that before you sign the contract. So you know exactly when those payments are due and how that happens. But the first payment happens July 1.
Okay, I think that's everything. So next is just questions. You guys can ask anything that you haven't already asked in the chat room if there's anything.
And I'd love to know, like, who is here, if
Yeah.
you're willing to show your faces too, like, who are new parents? Like Nick, I see that you've asked some questions. I see your name there. Are you a new parent here?
Yeah, we moved here less than a year ago. I've got
That's awesome.
gonna be a 7th grader,
And where did you move from?
Oregon.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a huge move.
It was a big move for us, but we're doing really well, right, McKinley? Okay, good.
That's
She's
awesome.
been
Well,
listening the whole time, but she's afraid to show her face.
no worries, McKinley. We hope we'll see you at auditions, and welcome to Utah. And Kristen, are you a new parent?
Yeah, so my daughter did a COPA camp last summer, and then she was really waffling whether she should try audition, but decided she wanted to do more shows, like more productions this year. But now she really, really wants to do COPA. So
That's
she
so
like
awesome.
filled out her resume. She's like ready to go.
That's so awesome. And you know what? We support you in both. Like
Yeah.
it's in St. George, just because we have 3 different locations across the state. There's a really higher than other areas, priority on performance and community theater, which is awesome.
Yeah,
But
she's in
just
Beauty and the
remember-
Beast right now.
Oh,
And
it's awesome.
a ton of the people in the through Encore, and a lot of the cast members are also in COPA. So
Yeah, there's a lot of people that do both, and we support both, because if you just do performing, that works really well through like 4th, 5th, 6th grade. But by the time you hit 7th grade, if they haven't been in the classroom training, it starts to go like this.
yeah.
And so it's really important, if they love it and they love performing, like Brittany was saying, training is super important. And I think I see Annie. I think I know you, Annie. Are you Lily's?
Lolly.
Yes.
Lolly.
Yes. Lolly. Yes. Okay. I was like, I think that's who that is. So it's good to see you, and we're glad to have you here.
Oh,
And
thanks. Sorry, it took me a
you
second
all
to
with
unmute. I have a question actually for you, Mindy.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lolly really wants to make young ambassadors. Do you think COPA dance is strong enough for her, or do you think she needs to also take outside dance classes?
So that's a really good question. I have a super great connection to somebody.
I know you do.
One of our owners is the director of Young Ambassadors. So Nathan and Susie Balser and my husband and I own COPA. And Nathan has been the director of Young Ambassadors at BYU. It's a performing group for like the last 3 years. I will say that we've had lots of COPA students in Young Ambassadors. So obviously the training is sufficient. However, a lot of those kids were taking the extra dance classes that
Yeah.
COPA. So we offer.
So that's her weak spot for sure.
So we offer extra classes on Friday that I'd highly recommend if that's something that she wants to do. And if she
Mhm.
has extra time, taking extra classes in the community is great, but honestly, like taking the MDT classes and taking additional classes has been sufficient, but there's no guarantee ever.
Right.
But it has worked for
Yeah.
others. Yeah, it's like we often have 3 or 4 almost every year in the companies. And
Yeah, that's really cool.
yeah, they're awesome. So that's a good
Okay.
question. And it's good to see you, and tell Lolly I said hi.
I will. Thanks. It's good to see you too.
I don't know if
Thanks.
there's other parents that dare, like Erin, I'm seeing you. I don't know that I recognize you. Maybe are you a returning parent or a new parent?
Well, Kristen's daughter and my daughter are cousins, and so they did do a COPA camp together last summer. And same deal, we just were new to the area and we just didn't know if we could make that level of commitment, but she is all in now and so excited to go.
Awesome.
So, and
And
I, as a
that's the
parent, I'm
best.
really excited to hear that that spring tour is not just a Disney trip, right? I was like, oh, maybe they'll sing a song at some, street corner or whatever, but it is like hardcore workshop, educational lifetime opportunity. So thank
Yeah,
you for giving all the details of that up front. That is such a highlight. I love
it's
it.
amazing tour, and Mimi did a good job explaining how educational it is for the students. They will be beat out of like pure joy and love of what they're learning and growing and doing, and then going to parks. They'll come home having gotten every dime, every penny of your investment plus worth from that awesome experience. So cousins, that's awesome, and we're glad to have you guys and look forward to being at auditions. I get that we're putting you on the spot. It's just we didn't have as many parents, so I thought we'd say hi. If anybody else wants to say hi, great. If not, we're super glad you're here finding out about the programs. We hope to see you guys at auditions. I saw some extra come into the chat, but it looks like we've answered them. Do you guys have any other questions that we can answer for you tonight before we close?
Mindy, I guess I don't know for sure, but one of the questions was, are they doing open jar next year or the Children of Eden style thing? I know that's called MCP.
Yeah, we do know, and we are doing MCP. So we sent out a lot of surveys. So to clarify, I don't know, it was probably like 10 years ago that a company in New York reached out to us and invited us to join on this like performance at Lincoln Center with Broadway directors, choreographers, performers. And it was like a pinch yourself amazing opportunity. But then COVID hit and changed all of our lives. And it paused that particular experience for 3 years. And so we were able to do our own version of a New York City tour last year because we couldn't, not meaning this year, but the year before. And in what Mimi's talking about with Open Jar. And it was an incredible experience. And with the contacts that Nathan and Susie, myself and Katie and others have, we were able to pull together those incredible performing, workshopping types of experiences. But we did a survey and our students said MCP. That was the majority vote. And the MCP experience is they've actually announced the show. It's Anastasia that they'll be doing, which is a beautiful show. And they really do like bring, like what Mimi was saying, they bring the composers often will be involved. Like Stephen Schwartz, who wrote Children of Eden last year, he was actually rearranging things for this ensemble that the kids were learning new versions of this particular song that he revised for this particular production. And he was in the rehearsal room every single day with them. On the breaks, we were going up and like saying hi, and this is amazing. And he is like, there's probably on Broadway, there's probably not a more famous composer like ever. So to be in the room with him was incredible. And then like the Susan Stromans, she said she dropped into the room, but years before in an MCP, Susan Stroman directed Crazy for You, which she won the Tony Award for directing and choreographing. And she was having our students with feathers in the background as they're singing, and there's Broadway stars in front of them. So the overall majority vote from the students and the parents from our survey was to do the MCP experience. It is more expensive, but it's just really worth it. So if you know your kid is in that age group, now is the time, like I said, to start doing fundraising, to start mowing lawns, cookie dough, like Mimi said. That's how my son earned his money for his Eagle Scout project. People love frozen cookie dough, and they'll pay good money for it, especially when your cute kid shows up batting their eyes about their awesome experience in New York. So use the summertime before school gets crazy to start saving money for these incredible experiences. Okay, any other questions?
I do have one quick question. Is there opportunity for parents to like chaperone with the tours?
Yeah, so Kristen, I was glad you said that because when Erin said she was glad it wasn't just a Disney tour, there are a lot of parents that come and you can stay at the same hotel or you can stay at a different hotel. You can pay for a chaperone ticket to like go watch. If you pay for MTCA, you can go watch their performance or you can go watch like the show, but that's an additional cost. Or a lot of parents will just go join the kids at Knott's Berry Farm, join the kids at Disney, and not participate in the festival itself. The same thing with New York. We don't actually typically have parents officially chaperone. We have directors do that, but we have a lot of parents that join, and you can book at the same hotel or you can book at a different hotel, and you can book tickets to the same shows that we'll be going to. Just keep in mind that it isn't really a family trip. The goal is like this bonding experience for the kids. And so we prefer to not have them like just join your family at Disney because it's time for them to be with the company. But we have so many parents that come and join their kids for lunch or go on some rides with them. So that's something that's totally open and that we love having parents come and be a part of. So yeah, we'll give all that information. You'll get so many, and we'll have tour meetings. You'll get a lot of details about when you would sign up for that and what the cost will be.
Mindy, also for MTCA, they allowed the parents to come and watch their child do their individual
Without the chaperone.
competition without the, yeah, I don't think you have to pay for that because Ruby and Macy did that.
Awesome. That's good to know. Thanks for clarifying. Annie, you looked like you had a question.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to tell Kristen that I went to New York not last year, but the year before, and it was really fun. I loved it.
And it was
worth
fun to have you there.
Oh, thank you. It was so fun.
It is amazing. Okay, any other questions? I will say about the Tuacahn program, and I'm sorry, you guys, I put my phone on Do Not Disturb in case you're thinking I'm like a technical idiot, which in part, in some ways I am. My computer doesn't listen to me. It's like my teenagers. It says Do Not Disturb. It says until the end of this event, and it still dings. So I'm sorry. And if I mute it, you can't hear me. So I'm sorry for the dinging. Anyway, I was going to say Tuacahn is a really special program. All of our programs are special, but the opportunity to be adjacent to a professional theater like that. And I have had the opportunity to perform on the Tuacahn stage over a lot of years in a lot of different productions, but I also actually help with the casting end. And I have for over 10 years now. So I'll travel to New York with them and to Salt Lake and other Ivans and other cities to help cast. And a lot of time our Tuacahn kids are cast and performing on the stage, which is awesome. But for us to be able to be in the space and rub shoulders, to have guest artist workshops, like for our company camp, a lot of times we'll have some of those people come in and teach a class, and just to be in the space like that is just a really incredible experience. So I'm grateful for Tuacahn because they're so generous to COPA in this partnership. And it is really a benefit for Tuacahn kids. And these directors, like we have incredible directors across the state in every place. There's a lot of heart and passion and soul that happens in Brittany and Mimi and all of our teachers. And you see it in the kids. Like there is just something special in the water at Tuacahn. So we would love for you to be a part of it. And I can just tell you that it's an awesome program and that your kids are in really great hands there. And we love what we do. And if that's something that like I know you're saying, Erin, she's all in, like you just kind of start to see, oh, my kid really loves this. Like Lolly, for example, is like a musical theater kid. And we are a little bit of just a different breed of human, and we recognize each other. We can see it. We breathe the same air or something because genetically there's something that says, oh my gosh, I relate to you and I love this. And so this is a group of people, teachers, directors, and students alike, who are what we call the COPA family. And we love each other, and it's a safe place, and your kids can risk and fail and fall and still get up and stand tall and really become, I mean, our focus is great training, unquestionably, but our much bigger focus is on helping them become great human beings, right? And that is happening. I can just tell you, after being involved in this for 15 years and after I'm raising 4 children and almost 2 of them are leaving home, it just goes by so fast. So those of you with younger kids, don't blink. But I can tell you the program is helping. It's helping kids develop confidence, to stand a little taller, to develop these talents in what they love. And so if you're thinking about it, come and audition. You'll feel the energy I'm talking about. You'll feel the positivity, you'll feel the love. And if it's a good fit for your family, we would just absolutely love to have you. Okay, I think we can probably close. Brittany, Mimi, you're awesome. Do you have anything else that you want to say?
Nope.
Okay, well, thanks for joining us. We hope to see you at audition. Spread the word. We're tiny but mighty, and we love how we are, but I think a lot of people just don't know about us yet. So if you have neighbors with kids that are also musical theater human beings, don't be shy. Tell them it's great for carpools for you too. And we love cousins and siblings. So yeah, spread the word and help us get the word out about COPA and what we do, because we love it.
Also, this meeting is being recorded, so if you have people who have questions, they can find this. There'll be a link on the website for this so that they can come and kind of, or if you need to rewatch it too, because you forgot or something, you can come back and find information. So
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks everybody. Good to see you. Have a great night.
Bye,
You too.
guys.
Bye.